guys, here's another song for the relative beginner guitarist. This is for your note reading on 4 different strings. We're going to get down to the E note on the 4th string. So when you're in Hal Leonard at about page 15 and 17 in book 1, then this is something that is available to you. It comes from one of their old pop supplement books. These are graduated to go along with book 1. This one is The Book of Love by the Monotones. It's in the same vein as Teenager in Love and Stand By Me. It's a 1958 song, or 57 song I believe, with the Doo Wop progression in its original form, which I'd like to talk about. We're in the key of G, and we've seen that in the key of G, we would have G, C, and D as the 1, 4, and 5. Then we started to run into the E minor, as in Stand By Me, G to the 6, the relative minor, to the C, to the D. That was also Last Kiss. In this situation, instead of the C, the 4 chord, which is subdominant, they're using the 2 chord, the A minor or A minor 7, which has a subdominant function as well, and functions here as a 2, 5, 1 in G. This progression comes from Blue Moon, and then was adapted and used in the 50s by the Doo Wop bands, and eventually the A minor became a C, going back to the major chord. The way it's original though is G, E minor, A minor, D or D7. It's a little jazzier. A jazz progression, 6, 2, 5, and 1. Then they go to the C chord, the 4 chord, you can hear it brighten up, back to the 1. That's verses and choruses. For some reason, the arrangement they give us, they switch into the key of C. A lot of choruses will do this. If you're in G, your chorus will jump up to the 4 chord, the C chord. So it feels like the song is doing that, but then it duplicates the entire thing, so it's modulated. We're using the 6, 2, 5 in the key of C. So C, A minor, D minor, and G, which is really cool. We get to see it in G and in C in the same song. It's as though we've transposed it and looked at our 2 best keys. Let's take a look at the melody now. The song doesn't bother to tell you that we're in the key of G with F sharps because there are no Fs in the song, but your key signature should say F sharp normally. Here we start on a chord tone, the B note, drop down to a lower neighbor tone, the A, which isn't in the chord, but step back up to B, and then back to the A. And then we've walked down to the G, which is a chord tone on the E minor. So it's B to A to B to A to G. Then when we go B, A here, then when we go from B to A here, the A is a chord tone on the A chord. The notes have been straightforward rhythm so far, quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4. This one is on beat 1, it's a quarter note. The next one is a half note, it gets 2 beats, so beats 2 and 3. Then the B is on beat 4. In the book, these are optional notes. They give you a very simplified rhythm as a beginner player, but I've put in the harder version. We've got an 8th note and then a quarter note. The 8th note is short, it only gets half a beat. So the first half of beat 1 is the A. We play another one on the and of 1. 1 and, but it's a quarter note. So it overlaps into beat 2. We don't play on 2, we have another 8th note on the and of 2. So we get a little bit of syncopation here. This is a little advanced for a real beginner, but if you can hear it as I talk about it and get the feel for it, you can even learn it and create the sound even before you're really equipped to understand it fully. This G is on the and of 2. So if I divided my beats 1 and 2 into 1 and 2 and, I'm going to play on 1 and, the A's, 1 and, not on the 2, but the G is on the and of 2. 1 and 2 and. So they're quicker than the quarter notes we've been hearing. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 2 beats on the half note, 1, 2, rest on beat 3, and another A at the end of the bar. So this is Tell Me, Tell Me. B, A, B, A, G, G, B, A, G, A, G, A. So it's only been G, A, and B thus far. At the end of that line is an A, then we get more B, A, B, A's, just like in this bar. Chord tones on the E, 2 G notes, and 2 E notes, the 2nd fret of the 4th string. On the A now we get A's and G's. We can think of those as lower neighbor tones, but they're also 7s. They're the flat 7 on the A chord, which they've asked for A minor 7. A, G, G is open, A, G, A for 2 beats, rest, and then the B as we walk up toward the D notes on G chord. 4 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, another G, and we're walking up the scale to the C chord. So G for 2 beats, A, open B to a C, 2 beats, the hat is a 2-beat rest, and then we get these C notes with the same rhythm we had up there. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1. That's Who Wrote the Book of Love. G chord has a B note, then another B note. There's no word here. We could have tied those, but they didn't. They have you playing it. There's no lyric there, but we'll hit it anyway. So B for 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, then 3. 1, 2, 3. That's a dotted half note that gets 3 beats. Rest on beat 4. Repeat it all. And I might as well repeat it all. B, A, B, A, G, G, B, A, G, A, G, A, 2, rest, A, B, A, B, A, G, G, E, E, A, G, A, G, A, rest, the D's at the end of the line, rest for 2, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and a rest. Now we're in the key of C. So where we were doing B's and A's on the G chord, that's a 3 and a 2. We're doing E's and D's on the C chord, again 3's and 2's. E, D, C, 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 D, C, D, C, D. Rest on beat 3, 8th notes on beat 4. So we play these quicker, they're 4 and. I'll play the long one. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. So just to match the lyric, we have 2 quicker notes. Next line, walking down the scale. E, D, C. D's and C's on the D minor. On the A, it was A and G, the root and the flat 7. Here it's the root, the D, and its flat 7, the C. A D note on a G chord, walk up to the C chord with the G notes, down to C, walk up the scale, Who on the F chord. So now we have an F note, no F sharps anymore because we're in the key of C here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's your melody. We looked at G, G to E minor, to A minor or A minor 7, to D. And that's the Doo Wop sound where we're using a 2 minor instead of a 4. Here it is on C, with C, A minor, to a D minor 7, to a G, G7 actually, C, A minor, D minor, G7, and C. So you can practice the 2 Doo Wop progressions and the tune, and now I'll play them sort of together so you can play along. 1, 2, 3, 4. one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, hopefully that recording worked. There's going to be some shaky spots in there, I think. Talk to you guys later. Have a good one.